Well, as we head into the second phase now with an IP, starting with the picking. I'm gonna go for the Sven, so Brame and Nip are both swapping their picks in a sense, so...
It is a block pick, to be fair.
It is kind of a block pick because, yeah, we did see the IO Sven in action already, so they're gonna need something else. They are gonna need something else.
Only 10 seconds.
Pair up with this IO. An interesting thing as well. I mean, they don't reveal it yet. They're gonna bring the Nyx Assassin to come in between.
I am a little bit scared for Brame because they are all out skirmish, all out fight in regards to like the identity of their lineup. And Nip, it's about we're gonna hit creeps, you're gonna run at us, we'll let you run at us, but we're gonna have egg, we're gonna have arena, we're gonna have this BKB Ags Sven running at you. And if Brame can play this cute high tempo game, then maybe they can play into it. But like I feel like you're always on this timer of you make one mistake and then the game's lost. So I'm a little bit worried about how fragile Brame's lineup is so far.
Yeah. I mean, they can definitely do some nice outplays as well with the amount of control that they have. Also, are we going to see more? Are we going to see the Exort Invo? Is it like a wind of the past nowadays? Because it is always Quas-Wex in most cases. Always in most cases. That was well put.
I think they understood. Like the Grim and the Sven lane is very aggressive, and then you mentioned about this Invoker with Exort. Like, I am very worried for Brame. Very worried. What could be the core pick here? Well, technically as well, they have an offlaner to pick as well.
Who goes with IO? I think that's the big question. You need a carry pick that goes along with IO.
There's no Sven, PA's banned.
CK?
Lifesteal is not around.
CK's bad against Sven though. Yeah.
Food. Yeah.
Food in a sense, true.
Yeah. Morphling? But then you have literally nothing in your team. You're just kind of like lads. You're not really anything.
Yeah. Husker cheese? I don't know.
Morphling Eye is also terrible. Nip have last pick. You can't really cheese in this position.
You can't necessarily,
You'd have to pick then cover with 2 bans, and realistically the cheese heroes are also counted by a lot of heroes in the grand scheme of it, so I don't think the bans are enough. So I am concerned for Brame for sure. But they're gonna have a Eureka pick. They're gonna pick like something really like left field, like a Lycan, and end the game too early. Now, realistically, they can't pick that either. I actually have no idea what they're gonna pick it. My mind is a little bit frazzled on the Brame department.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for it. We have to wake up in like 8 hours for our next cast as well. So
that is true. We have
an intense 24 hours ahead.
It's fine. I'm ready for it though. I'm so ready. But realistically, I said that with the most monotone voice ever. But let me sit up for a second.
Yes,
I'm really ready for this.
Good. All right.
Whoa!
Yes. Wrap up those sleeves. Bring out some of that UK chav energy. Just
I'm not. All right. To be very clear, a chav will wear like an Adidas hoodie, like up top, like.
What brand is your hoodie? What?
Mine's Teddy Fresh.
Teddy Fresh. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I'll have to take a look at it because that's a really sweet hoodie.
Oh, it's a brand. I can't bring brand. Sorry, that's a brand.
Yeah, that's a brand. I mean, yeah.
It's fine.
Don't worry about brands. We've got monsters, so we're good.
There we go.
We're good.
Yeah. So it's a Monster Energy hoodie. Yeah.
It's a Monster Energy. It's the one that you need. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm fake promoting. Everything's going wrong.
All right, just calm down for a second. Brood has been banned, so no worries. Everything's all right in the kingdom. But now that they take away the Timber Saw, they take away the Bat Rider. I do like this Bat ban. I'm not a huge fan of this Timber ban though. It's strong against Mars and Sven, but is it the hero they were looking for?
It's basically the lane. It is the lane setup where Phoenix Sven lane will be dismantled by a Timber Saw, because they're both strength. And it does give Brame that free lane what they're looking for. So they go for a Darks here. So yeah, Brame very much have that tempo-esque lineup. I like the Juggernaut. We didn't really mention it due to us fake calling out or whatever it. But in either way, the Juggernaut can deal with the egg. It can deal with the Mars in lane. But it is
10
naturally
seconds
countered by a Sven. So the
Mm.
way in which Brame have drafted this is
5
sure you might have the better
seconds.
carry matchup, but we're playing for a better team timing because this Nyx Darks here running at you, this ability to flood the map with Quasar's Invoker might just get set enough pacing that Brame can take it. But my concern is it's very much the Brame lineup that has to go super aggressive versus the Nip lineup that at no point should ever feel pressured into taking fights they don't want to. And if they just play on the back foot defensive, like we saw Brame do in a couple of these games, then that type of defensive player style will allow you to itemize and get to that kind of beautiful period of strength that you can let them run in and then you'll just easily wipe the floor with them. So it's going to
Yeah.
be very much, offense v defense. And can Nip play well defensively? I'm sure they can. They have, had a good track record before. So
Mm.
yeah, this is, in my eyes, this is all about Brame. Can they actually execute this lineup that easily could outpace a lot of teams, but can they outpace Nip? I'm looking forward to see.
Yeah, who has the stronger turtle shell, so to say? I mean, if we look at high ground, who actually has the better high ground defense? This is a very common topic we actually talk usually in the Finnish scene. Like, who has the better high ground?
It would be Nip for sure because they have this wave clear from a distance. They can, avalanche toss, get away. They have the Grimstroke, Stroke of Fate. They got a lot of things to, shoo, be gone, and also not only that, they have the arena and egg to deal with. So Brame, on the other hand, their high ground offense is a vacuum wall into an impale, a tornado. Doesn't really sound that great. So yeah, I think Brame, if the game gets difficult, they're gonna feel it pretty hard.
Well, this is the decider map between these two teams. The winner will head into the winners match. And did you actually look at the results yet of who they're going to go up against? Because if I understood correct...
I've had a gander. I believe Khan actually won 2-1 against 5 men.
Yep, so the winner of this series, the winner of this map, will go up against Khan, and the loser will face up against 5 men in the losers match. So that means 0-1s and 1-0s are still fine, but 0-2, you're out, and 2-0 or 2-1, you are through to the playoff stage. But that also means that whoever loses that decider match with 1 and 2 as a scoreline, you will face up against either Viking GG or Team Liquid, and you don't want to be that team. So this is a very important victory ahead here.
For sure. This is pretty critical. You want to get as many wins as possible early on. Saying that, it's literally GSL format, so early on, I mean, like, just win your first series and don't lose again.
Well, let's get this rolling and underway as we have our bounty runes spawning. This looks like it's going to be a very casual start with 2-2 on both sides. Very calm, very chill to go things off with. But how long is this actually going to stay calm? Are we going to get some really early action kicking in? Or
you keep asking for this action, all right?
I do,
it's never going to
do.
come. These teams...
Who knows? I mean, it might. You sounded very dramatic there for a second, and then you're with him like, wait, did something happen?
No, I thought I'd just tease you a bit, do some of the articulation, get you going.
I thought you...
like, frantically looking around the map. I'm like, no.
I thought you were like, you ran into some kind of a moment, like you saw something dreadful.
Skylark is pretty low in the bot lane. I'm just,
he is, but let's not,
I'm just trying to bring out the energy because, of course, we have had... This is our 6th game now, so you got to get a bit of energy back into it.
Yeah, what comes around goes around. Or goes around comes around, whichever way it's supposed to be said. But then again, nothing too special to start things off with, at least. Very, very, very calm to go with. Bit of trading with Spartan and Era. Now we have the 4 Phoenix back in action instead of the 5 Phoenix, so maybe get some more harassment going on instead of just enabling that. But the thing is always, it's a Juggernaut, so you're relying more on your right clicks and the right timings. Maybe force out the spin so that he has to dispel the debuffs. But as soon as you see spin, that's when you should have like Icarus dive, and the other way around as well, knowing if you don't have spin, they will just dive at you. And Focus is taking a lot of damage. Era just relentlessly harassing this Juggernaut.
Yeah, and the good thing here is the cooldown of spirits is somewhat equal to the spin, so it's like, if you spin instantly, I'm still going to put 3 spirits into you, and if you don't spin at all, then cool, I'm just going to get another round of spirits. So it's a pretty annoying matchup. You'd think it'd go a lot better, but it's very much a game-based matchup rather than lane, because Jug, most cores actually do feel the pressure of Phoenix, outside of maybe like a Life Stealer, for example. But then again, also you do have the IO in the lane, so that natural issue of, you know, damage, IO can deal with, but overstepping his mark a little bit, tanking quite a lot.
No abilities remaining on Saberlight. He's already used the spear, he's already used his bonk. And that's the good old God's Rebuke. Like calling it the bonk. Look, half HP. So is Spartan, but they will
going on to bot.
Another Skylark is low again, right? It's like, but this time it's not fake, it's real. But he actually walks away. Charlie, 1, 2, 3, does the trick. No, he actually jukes him for a bit, but the stun comes out. Charlie will have the mana for it. First blood.
This is the quickest first blood of the day.
Yes, it is, and it's a miracle.
In our games, at least.
And in our games, yeah. And Saberlight, just look at that. 3 cast cancelled spears, and Juggernaut spin has been baited. 3.
Then again, he did farm a lot.
He did get a bit of farm there, but that means that there's no spin, so 1 misplay. At least on the positive side, what they've done. Focus on the Spartan right away at the start when the bounties were shared. They were breaking as many trees as they could in this entire area with the tether, so that there's no trees to latch on with the Mars spear. So not only is it a vision advantage, but it also is a really big advantage.
No. Were you looking at bot lane by any chance?
I just jumped there to see that there's some low HP heroes.
So basically it was a vacuum into an impale, double iron shell on top of Misha. He placed the stun onto the Sven, then get a disconnect salving. He unfortunately then got a little bit of lack of confidence, pump fated stroke of fate 2-3 times, and then the Nixon survived. But it was very close, really good plays from both sides of the team, but no one dying.
Alright. Small margin moments there indeed. Now that I actually think about like the previous game when we were talking about the Undying 3, when I said that I've never actually got to cast an Undying 3 game before, and it ends up being a win, I was like, that's a rare one in the book, you know?
Yeah, why not?
So would be
easy.
Maybe it's just the amount of what's it called, confidence I put in Saberlight. Ever since the Hippomaniacs
he
era.
is a stellar chap to be fair. That Hippomaniacs roster was pretty much like wasn't it like Supreme plus Saberlight v the world type of thing?
Yeah, there was the Chech team with Sani and Curry and I don't remember the 5th guy. But that
Supreme
was,
rotating into top lane.
Yep, and the spins forced by Focus. Spear, 6 seconds cooldown. The slow from Era. TP from Stomanen, but he doesn't quite land the stun. Anyway, the damage was already dealt. But it's a 2-0 now for NIP, and Darkseer is actually gonna go down. So that's a 3rd one, and that is a 2nd kill for Charlie in this lane.
Yeah, these lanes from Brame, like the philosophy of their lineup is about getting online and being super aggressive, but like their laning presence is just not that good because Mars Phoenix does really well against Jug, especially when there's not that kill threat. If the Jug had a position 5 that had the ability to go aggressive, then maybe the Mars Phoenix can be pressured, but that is a difficult lane. And then Sven naturally loves playing Darkseer, so
yeah,
it's interesting to see how this draft developed. Now Nipper reaping the rewards of that, able to just farm all these lanes, and if this Tiny keeps being aggressive, this could get difficult. Wish even dying to Era and all the lads on Nip, because They all rotate
I
into that
was
6
looking
minute
at
ring.
the completely wrong place because I was looking at bottom and seeing those rotations in mid, and then there's suddenly a dead invoker in the river. Oh well, it's not looking like a strong start for Brame.
It isn't, not at all. And the difficult thing is when they're in a lineup where their core v core matchup is Nip favored, they need a better start. But let's not count them out now. They have this ability to ramp up the tempo a little bit quicker than Nip can. So.
Oh, 1, 2, and then he cast it on the third, and that's a miss. That is a miss stun right there. 7 minutes played. No kills for Brame yet. They are also 4th, 5th, and 6th on the net worth chart.
And I think the best thing about this series is just simply we get to see these teams that we often don't see. Brame, for example, these lads, the Greeks at Spartan, playing up against Nip. Nip often they get to most of these bigger tournaments and have good games against these better teams. So it does show the depth of talent we have deeper down into the tier 2, tier 3 region. And it's like if they're still able to take games against these teams, then it is just a promising sight of the depth of these
big trouble
tiers.
here. He's able to outrun the Inkswell at least. He drops the wall. And it's just to slow down Misha a little bit with it.
Do you think there should be a mechanic in the game like called whiplash? So when you get vacuumed and you're not facing the direction the wall should drag you in, you get whiplash back, you know?
Whiplashed. I only remember
Did you see the Grimstroke?
I mean, yeah, kind of, but I mean, well, Skylark's dead. But
he's dead, yeah.
The only thing about Whiplash is I remember that old TV, well, not old, but that TV show Whiplash, where they try to get through those water obstacles or something like that.
Was it called Whiplash?
Yes, it's like the...
It's like, to me, Whiplash is a movie, you know, where the kid's trying to be a drummer, and like the guy's like, you gotta bet better, and all that stuff, and he's like, just sitting there doing the same tune, and his like hands are bleeding and playing the drums. Like, that's what I thought Whiplash was.
Alright, yeah, well...
in terms of the movie side of it, but...
Alright, then I have to say that I'm sorry I don't get the reference, because I probably haven't. I might have seen the movie, but it just doesn't, like, it doesn't ring a bell right now.
No, it's fine, I wasn't... It's such a weird conversation.
Skylark has got a lot of bells ringing in his head right now because he has died of several times in this lane, 4 times now. Wish looking for the first kill for Brame, and he will get it, and maybe a second one. Charlie getting Omni Slash, but the Juggernaut and Focus will pick it up, and this is just like game 2. They will get a kill for Focus, they will get a kill for Focus. Focus and Wish. That is, they focus twice, focus once, and Wish once. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not sure if I said it, but I did. And I'm happy I corrected
so they
myself.
killed Charlie there, but look at the map construct right now. Look how far up the Mars is on the top lane. And you have Nip being so aggressive in the ancient area with Tiny pressuring, and also now going on to Wish as well with the toss back with the Grimstroke TP as well. Like, yeah. Nip right now are kind of very confident. And Spartan TPing with... not even TPing, just being present with no HP. Invoker had lived and Spartan offered himself up. Take me, guys, please. You did a pretty good gank, but the Invoker was a bit too tanky, so please take me as your offering.
Yeah, that was a difficult...
And now Saberlight's appeared. Hello, lad.
Difficult situation, and Saberlight drops the ulti on top of Wish, but Wish just instantly goes invis. The sentry does go down, but they realize that they've already missed their window of opportunity, and the Inkswell doesn't even connect on Stomanen. Wish with the Tornado connecting onto 2 heroes at the same time. Focus has been killed by Charlie, so Charlie gets a little bit of revenge for losing his life earlier on, and now the chase onto Saberlight. Trying to draw their attention away to keep Misha alive, but here comes Supreme to the rescue. 2-man stun from Stomanen, really well landed. EMP will connect as well, burning out the mana for both of these heroes. And here comes the Phoenix as well. Phoenix does have an egg available, but he needs to get the attention of Brame first. But Brame, they won't lose any heroes. They will all turn around and get back to safety. Skylark looking for the vacuum play. Only catches the Phoenix, but the wall is down. 2-man stun from Stomanen, though, will be enough. They will take down the bird. Now they're going to chase down the rock. That's spinning a Rufflecopter in the air. That sword, luckily, it doesn't hit onto anybody, but Tiny TP's home.
That was Nip demonstrating the only way they can lose a fight, which is continued engagement without decisive moves, in which, like, they use Arena, they miss the spear. The Tiny comes in, but he fails the combo because the Impale comes out. Like, that is the best way Brame can take these fights, based again on Nip's inability to, to connect their spells together. And I don't think that's going to happen often, It was a small misplay, so I'm still a little bit worried for Brame in the big picture, but it is a glimmer of hope that they can still take good fights if they can, you know, outmaneuver, outplay, and position themselves correctly. That we are seeing Mars, for example, waste his arena, you know, get a good cheeky blink out later on in the game type of thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it develops, but for now, 3k up, Sven now going back to the jungle. Jug equally so. Oh, he's going Battle Fury and Jug as well, because he does need to scale this game. Without Jug having farm, it's a rough one.
Saber, like, Misha and Saber, they're setting up for this one. The spear connects. The Inkswell will be there. They're gonna drop the egg. They're dropping everything on top of Focus, giving himself that real bit of a warning that NIP is still awake and well aware of what's happening. But Focus just takes the punishment. Stomanen holding a DD rune in front of him. Maybe they're waiting for the Jug to spawn, teleport mid, and pick it. No, Stomanen's gonna take it because they notice the fight's gonna break loose. Saberlight, he's got no mana for his ulti. He can't drop the arena. He's like 50 mana short from it, but the stun's coming out from Charlie. A lot of damage onto Wish. Wish is going out as well. Stomanen on the run now, and Charlie does a lot of damage. This Mask of Madness up and running. 1 hit, 2 hits. He needs 1 more, and he will get it. Stomanen is out of the way, and NIP pick up 2, and it's 12-3 now. And Brame, they are being stampeded on.
Yeah, they are getting run over, and like, look at Supreme. He's sacrificed his game a little bit through his active nature, and he's just going to eventually go for that blink and just be that supporting cast. And this over aggression
Skylark,
playing
man
really well.
vacuum does come out, but it looks fancy, but it doesn't really do much enough. And Wish is a bit too late for this one. The tower's also down. Sven, he is low on HP. The body blocks might be enough. And 30 HP. Charlie
not enough.
on the run. Run, Charlie, run. He's trying to get away. Focus, looking for it, and he gets pushed backwards. He is inside the arena. He's got his Omni Slash. He can't get to him. Sven is dead, however. Spartan is also dead, and now goes the Juggernaut. He gets his Omni Slash, but he's hitting other creeps. They're trying to bring him closer to Misha, but Misha, he will get right-clicked away by Wish, and now Focus still spinning, getting right-clicked away by Era. Era still has an Icarus dive. Does he go for it? Saberlight, meanwhile, is dragging away the rest of these Brame heroes, and he's got Skylark and Wish and Stomanen on top of him. He will take him out, and here we follow the Phoenix. Will finish off the job, and NIP gets something back, but Wish also finds a triple kill for himself, and it ends up being a 4-for-2 trade going in favor for Brame. They did lose their mid-tier 1 tower for this.
All right. Thank you for Twitch chat to confirm. You're thinking of Wipeout.
Yeah, I'm reading chat. I'm reading chat right now.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, well, you should. Like, how dare you? I also couldn't remember the name of the TV series, but you weren't really giving me that many hints.
I wasn't giving you anything back. You were correct and I was wrong. I admit I swallowed the defeat.
It's fine. Oh well, happens.
Hey, fine.
Anyways, Nip again demonstrating the way in which they can lose fights, and Brame demonstrating how they can pretty expertly go on the aggressive, because that was Arena's vacuum wall setting up. The body block's very cute, and Brame's lineup, it's about getting in your face and never leaving because you're able to eat through. And the only concern they have is fighting into the arena egg combo.
Yeah.
And then Darkseid dies to the arena.
Yep. Saberlight just sees the Darkseer, blinks on top of him, drops the arena. Some nifty, fancy moves there, but Saberlight, that, I have to say, like, one of the most dominating or massive animations and sound effects, it feels like, is when the spear connects on a hero and slams onto a wall. It just feels so massive. Just like Fissure, when the Fissure's stunned, but it's kind of missing something. But that spear, I feel like it has it all. Now Era with the Inkswell, they've got the Stomanen in front of him, but he won't get the stun, but they get the spear. Saberlight is there again for the setup. And Nyx is silenced up, so he can't even get the Carapace to take on any NIP heroes. That's another kill. 16-7 now.
It's difficult, because right now Brame's basically playing for, like, the
They're going to
outplays.
lose their
And
ancient
when that's
stacks.
your playstyle, yeah, it's a double.
It's a double, but
ancient
still a
stacks.
stack.
It's all right. But, like, my concern for Brame is, like, their win condition, or their ability to play a good fight, is them massively outplaying Nip, and Nip having to miss so many spells, and that's a big concern right now, though they are trying to engage onto the Sven.
Yeah, he really wants to get that, but he can't get all the way. And now those very low HP ancient creeps finally cleared out by Focus. He manages to get all of the big ones. And Juggernaut.
Battle Fury complete soon.
Yeah, he almost got it from that that camp, but he won't have the battle fury for this fight though.
Oh,
he needs
running
one
into a
creep.
smoke.
Okay, he needs one creep. He's gonna get it, and then they're gonna go back because they're smoked up, and he needs to instantly run to his team. Era is already here. The meteor hammer will be dropped down on the ground, and now do we have that battle fury? Focus is running towards the secret shop while Skylark is already getting initiated on. And here comes Saberlight with a spear, but it doesn't connect onto the tree at all. It's just going to miss completely. The Phoenix will be thrown into the air. Supreme coming in from the back as well. Gets the toss onto Skylark, and here goes Saberlight. The vacuum coming in as well with 3 heroes. And a really big combo coming in as well. The egg will be dropped down to the ground as well. It will take down the egg, and Era is out. 2 heroes gone. And Brame has only lost 1, and Saberlight will be the 3rd casualty. They even throw the Sunstrike, but they don't need it because they have the Omni Slash for it. Supreme finds 1. It's Stomon and gets stunned up. Doesn't get the kill. Needs 1 right click for it. Has to dodge the impale, and now he's on the run, but I don't think this Tiny's gonna run far away. Make that a 4th kill, maybe.
Hold on a second. Is he gonna?
Okay,
No, he's
come
gonna
on.
live.
All right, he's fine. They didn't have the impale was still
I'm
3
so
seconds.
confused with Nip's desire to fight there. The Sven had TP top, didn't have God Strength. He's trying to farm up his BKB, but then you have this Nip lineup rushing in. The Mars wildly using spear but not using arena, and then like it's such a sloppy fight. They haven't protected the egg because of course Jug can just connect through. So I think Nip actively choosing to fight 4v5 is exactly what Brame wants. So
yeah,
it's a little bit concerning for me here, the way in which Nip tried to fight that. But realistically, they didn't lose any map control. Sure, there are now 2 dire wards in the Nip jungle, but it hasn't stopped Nip's desire to go on the aggressive. And I think Brame should be very happy that he got gifted that free fight. But if Nip just, you know, get a little bit more kind of confident, and I think Saberlight, he's having a bit of a bad game right now. We're not seeing the confident Saberlight we normally see. Like a lot of, you know, missed spears, arena's a bit wayward. So if they just close up their game, they should be fine. But they're giving Brame the opportunities to stay in this game.
Era actually goes on focus, finds 3 heroes and 2 singular Brame heroes walking into the river. Wish finds Supreme. Supreme also locates him because that Hinder Gas does give away. Relocate is coming in as well, and they surround Supreme from every direction. So Tiny's out. Mars getting stunned up. The spear into the Carapace right away, and Saberlight gets the ulti off. He's trying to run for it, and Focus is high on his heels. Sunstrike coming out as well. The wall will be dropped on the back though, but it's gonna be enough to slow this Mars down. They're such a tanky, bulky boy, but it's not gonna be enough. And now Era NIP might even lose 3, but he gets the dive off just in time. There was no tornado available.
Oh, these fights are actually really good from Brame, just in the numbers and the desire to be in there. Of course, Nip is very much them just getting picked apart. We've got the Tiny getting picked off bottom, then the Mars trying to cover the Tiny, then him then getting killed due to that really good carapace from the Nyx. So again, these fights are looking good, but it's just Nip's misplays that are allowing Brame to have such a dominant force. And this lack of discipline, this lack of execution is exactly the mistakes that you shouldn't be making, and it's keeping Brame in such a equal spot. Like, it's 4k. This was a 5k lead like 5 minutes ago. This should have been maybe 10k at this point for
Well,
Nip,
we'll see if it comes back. It might come back though. Fresh BKB on Sven. Ulti is ready. Smoked on the low ground. They don't have the arena, but they have everything else, and Brame is right next to him. Charlie will be spotted, but the spear comes out, and Darkseid will be the target. And they will instantly focus on Skylark. Tornado does come out, but it's not going to do enough, and Charlie will get Skylark, the egg on the back line, while they chase onto Spartan. Spartan still has Invoker on the tether. Meanwhile, in the back, Stomanen still looking for an opportunity for the stun. Who's he going to go for? Or does he want to go for anything right now? Because he's all alone. The rest of his teammates have backed out.
In all of the confusion and dismay, Charlie has been farming. So his BKB is now like, lads, I've seen you fighting without me. Not a fan. Jump in my backpack. We're going together. So I can.
Not a fan.
Luckily, Charlie is the lad keeping them together now. And also Saberlight, redemption fight there. He got the Darkseid spear. He's tried doing that last 2-3 fights, not to much avail. But now he's done it.
He has done it. He's constantly focusing the Darkseid, even with those lane pickoffs. I mean, after the laning phase has already ended with that Blink Dart, obviously, so we're talking about like the last 5 minutes. Saberlight has been relentlessly hunting down this Darkseid every time he can. Always doesn't get it. to happen, and so in some team fights ends up just pushing the Darkseer for a Dream Vacuum, but he does get a little bit of redemption points, just as you mentioned there. But we also talked about that 5,000 gold difference. It's now actually 7k now for NIP, so that was like a 3k bounce, maybe even more. Might come backwards a little bit. The Saberlight tries to TP out. Not gonna happen. Focus on a dominating streak. Supreme is actually under a scan. They see where he is. The tornado. Not gonna connect. Ixwell, they're all between. They don't even know that Chinese there. And Invoker stunned up Supreme, toss him in the air, but they cannot blow him up. So Spartan is taken out by Charlie on the mid lane. And there we go. The TP comes out from Charlie. He wants to join the party since it's a 4v4 fight. There is no Io. There's no Mars. And there's no wall for the Darkseer. He's already used it. But yeah, that was the wall that was used there on the back.
I gotta say, I am really enjoying this Darkseer performance from Skylar. Just the vacuums, like in mid lane with the Phoenix on his dive, he connected during the Meteor Hammer. Like, I'm just loving Skylar. And I believe actually Darkseer is one of the heroes he was actually infamous for during the Adfinin run. So, you know, I can see why. He's a top lad. Good stuff, Darkseer.
Good stuff. I mean, yeah, both offlaners have been working hard this game to benefit for their team fights, because they seem to be constantly the big targets. They have like this really big bullseye on top of their heads. Sadly, we don't have the battle pass bullseye markers anymore in the whistlers. The whistleblowers, not quite though.
You tried. We're going Roshan. Nip don't have God Strength for another 37 seconds, so it's going to be a difficult fight for them. But they do have the big spells, the Arena, the Egg, so if they can position correctly, they might be able to do it.
Not making any advance towards this Roche Pit yet. Now slowly, still waiting.
Even though it's happening,
waiting.
They have scan available.
They have to do something. They don't know. I don't think they know about it at all.
They don't. Oh,
right
no.
now they just instant pings coming out. That's actually Io who's pinging onto the top side. Let's just quickly back away. We got Roche, and I have to say, this was larceny.
This is I'm really enjoying the way that Brame are keeping them in this game and really punishing any mistake that Nip has made. But it's the fake confidence that an Aegis can bring. This is what scares me if you're a Brame fan, because you're gonna want to go and make a play, but you have this Ags BKB on Sven, very scary. The blink on Tiny will always be able to pick apart the IO, so it's not as simple we have Aegis, we can go fight playing. Juggernaut, he's a hero that's activated by his ultimate. When he doesn't have ultimate, a little bit lackluster, especially against his Sven. So sure, he has Aegis, but that's going to be, he has to use it to tank these big spells and then fight after. So it's still not going to be an easy fight for them. And hopefully they don't get too confident, like right now, how he's farming and how they're split on the map.
Have to be very careful now here with the Charlie just pushing out that lane really quickly. Focus is the man in front. Got a Manta, so if there's a quick panic situation, it might just be enough to save him.
They're positioned nicely on that. This is how they need to fight. They need to be able to be in the right position. Like, let's say they do connect that perfect Arena Spear. The IU can come in, tether, relocate, restart the fight. Like, this is what their construct of a fight should be.
25-minute bounty contest coming in. Focus on the low ground. He's waiting for Charlie to jump in. He really wants him to jump in, so he could just dodge it with either the Manta or the spin, but not gonna happen.
Good discipline from Charlie there.
Yeah. You could see that he really wanted to go, but he had to hold himself not to go in. Maybe another chance. Dire scan on the high ground. I know they're still waiting.
But Supreme is top, so he's gonna have to TP into either the tier 2 or the Alpha.
If he shows, then Brame know that they have a man advantage fight here, and he will do exactly so for now. If they get a quick jump, they might not be able to teleport to save him.
But I think that's a saving grace for Nip, that the jump on Brame is very much a vacuum into an impel. It's not that quick, clean kill, so they can be confident in this type of play.
See the wards being placed on the low ground. They've got they see exactly what's happening there. NIP, they are really playing this calmly, holding that high ground. Supreme.
Oh, now they've done the Dota split.
Charlie pushes the lane out, and now Brame, they decide to give away this this lane. So it was a close cold war between these two, but it never actually broke loose.
Yeah, and you can see why Brame wanted to leave this area, because their vision was never too strong. And look at how fortified it is. You got the ward sentry pretty much entering every single entry of this bottom jungle. So if you're a Brame, you're like, let's maybe fight top now. They've wasted all their sentries, all their big vision, but let's now just instantly relocate to that top lane, that being the team moving, not obviously I, bring in one lad. Now suddenly you could maybe have vision advantage because you've baited out the wards. It's a critical thing in Dota. Is like, if you can bait out a large amount of resources in one area, and then you're able to shift the gameplay to a new area, it's very hard for the supports from that team to keep up with the tempo, especially when you, again, like I said, you've committed that vision.
Also, looking at Darkseer's like item choice, he could get a lot out of a Blink Dagger, but he decides to go for Lotus Orb. And I think we have seen the impact of Lotus Orbs in this specific series when we have this Sven.
That is true. The Lotus Orb, it did pop a lot in that second game.
Like, we've seen Rubik throw a stolen Stormhammer on a Zeus who gets Lotus Orb, and then the Zeus is flying in for a stun, and he's suddenly out of position. So there's so many things that they can, if you have the moment to kind of exploit the fact that Sven's stun with the Aghs is a forced movement. If you can exploit that with the Lotus Orb, you can really push your opponent into a very awkward spot by basically making them not do anything. You just throw a stun at them, you force the Lotus Orb, and they're like, oh, okay, our hero is flying towards the enemy, and we don't want that guy to be in the front line. Say, for example, like if the Invoker gets thrown in. So those are like small things, but it's you can't really plan these like in front.
Just look at the way that Brame are playing now. You've got Skylock who's this AFK bot lane. He has this Quelling Blade set at 20 minutes. He's like eating his way through these trees, making himself these new like juke patterns, and he's keeping his bot lane pressured. You see Nip, they relocated to the top lane, expecting Brame to be aggressive, but instead what they did was they had this double ward set up, and they just farmed basically in this pocket behind the wards. So now they have this bottom pressure coming in. Meanwhile, they're just farming. So Brame are actually keeping themselves in the game through the lack of aggression, and if anything, they might just be waiting for that next Roshan to respawn, because they're just too scared to run head-on into the team fight. They're waiting for an outplayed chance.
Yeah, basically the Aegis timer was 30 seconds ago, so still 2.5 minutes, a bit under than that for Roshan's minimum timer. There's still going to be some extra seconds and maybe some extra minutes. Not sure if I've actually asked you before, but what's the fastest Roche timer you've ever seen? Mine is 5 seconds.
Ooh. Mine's like, double digits. Or I think around like 20, I think. As a caster, I don't cast a lot, so...
yeah, true. That's actually very true. But I feel like spectating a game or so when you see the Roche
I'd say
wheel,
around like 15 to 20 seconds probably the fastest. I've never seen like an instant like, bam, let's go. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That'd be the dream, actually.
It was somewhere around this summer when I was casting a game. Actually, it might have been the previous, maybe even in the closed qualifiers for the previous ESL. That was the 5-second Roshan. So basically, when the red circle turned yellow, it just instantly scrolled through, and it was like, okay, Roche is gonna, okay, he's already up, and now Supreme finds an opening. He finds the Darkseer to push back with the spear and a quick delete.
Finally, he dies. He's been in his bottom lane for so damn long, and as soon as he dies bottom, look at Brame. They're instantly flooding into top. We've got that D ward, and they're trying to pressure this tier 1 tower, so they're automatically trying to find some profit from this Darkseer death. And the bounty runes, honestly, bounty runes are such a trap in Dota 2, Like, do you need this bounty rune when you already know that you're going to get the top 2? Is that bottom 1 truly value? But
good question.
Realistically, in this situation, it wasn't value, because unfortunately Darkseer did die, and when Darkseer's dead, Nip can go on the all-out aggressive, because Darkseer is like kind of basically all the team fights. The big vacuum, you layer the Nyx Impale, and then you get to play out from there.
Well, NIP with that pick off, they're able to get a power here in bottom, so no more tier 2s there. Tier 1s either. There's only 2 outer towers remaining for Brame.
Oh god, this Nixus should be so scared. He just ran through the fortified jungle that is Radiant. Run, Nix, the blink!
That's an ulti. Can he TP away, though? Supreme is still going to be close, high up on the tail. They missed the dance. They miss everything.
Oh,
and
no.
Nix goes home. If only there were some tips to give.
You could chat well, I guess.
Good, you could, but still. All right, Roche time. Like, was that 2 minutes, 45 seconds or something?
Yeah, it's not 5 seconds, mate. So.
Yeah. That's not 5 seconds. Yeah, that's a very long one.
If it was 5 seconds, I think Brame would be loving life because, you know, Arena just wasted bottom. Let's get in there, lads.
Yeah, yeah.
And they might be looking to smoke up with the fact that they know Arena's
yeah, IO sending a courier. IO sending a courier into the Roche pit to get the information, so they're definitely aware that this is like the area where to play next. This is either they go there or try and make a push move through mid with the lanes pushed out and try and go for a smoke, maybe find an opening or a pick off. But this is most likely going to be the top side jungle areas.
And a really important thing here is that I love the way that Nyx is positioned because he's always playing on the opposite side of this IO jug, basically covering that flank potential of a rotation. If the Nyx is there, he's always got, like we just saw, he's got that blink, the carapace, the ways to disconnect himself. So I like how he's always been this cushion factor to mitigate any potential aggressive move from Nip. So that's a nice little small thing from this next player.
Cushion factor kind of makes you sound like TeaGuvnor is an expert on pillows.
What can I say? I have 3 pillows on my bed.
Ooh.
They're very comfortable.
That's one more than I have. Focuses. Courier goes down. That's an ultimate orb.
I said I know as if I know how many... I don't know, but now I do know. Thank you.
But the fact is there, with the courier dying with the ultimate orb, they are trying to take a fight now, or even Roshan with all the money meant for that Scotty not available. They don't have the Scotty on the Juggernaut, which they could have used for. Samana goes for the Blink Stun on Supreme. The Sunstrike is there, and the spin will dodge the Saberlight, say his spear at least, and now focus. He does have that Grimstroke ultimate. Here comes the Arena as well from Saberlight. They have the IO thrown into the air, and it will take him out, but the Juggernaut is still getting up, and he gets that Omni Slash just in time, but there's also the egg in the middle, and they are trying to split the damage. Focus trying to make a way up, but he gets speared up on the wall, and the Juggernaut will be removed, and Brame have lost 2 heroes in a short time span. Skylark is trying to go for a run out. Era still keeping the chase, but I think Skylark should be fine. Still 25 seconds.
Have been used, and unfortunately, in that situation, if Supreme had walked further in and Nyx was able to, you know, get the Vendetta break, impale, and stun close to his team, that probably could have led to a pick-off. But because the Nyx is blinking into the Tiny, you know, Brame doesn't have that same level of connection that the Nyx has. So that gap they had to close in, it gave Nip the time to, you know, collapse.
Okay, Supreme, is he going to bait this? Or is he going to die for it? The Tornado's going to be enough. Wish finds a pick there with the help of Samanen. Suddenly a little bit of a spread, and NIP end up losing 1 member of their team, but Roche is up. Roche has just respawned. They can't go for it. Stomanen is sitting on top of a sentry. If they only have a little bit of vision to throw in. The courier. Oh no. Oh, he misses.
Run away.
Oh.
It is daytime, to be fair. He's
very
in the clear.
He's out. Saberlight can't get to him. Can't get to him. He's safe.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, Brame decided to leave their vision and play in that low ground area. So pretty much everything that could go wrong in a team fight for Brame went wrong. So it was difficult for the lads, but they can reset. They are ready to go again. The Omni Slash is up in 40, but they're deciding, let's go straight away into Roshan. There isn't an egg. Egg's up actually in 3 seconds, so this is going to be very scary.
But no Tiny for 13, and Roche is almost dropping down. Look at that vacuum. Beautiful play from Skylark. But is it going to be enough for him? Because Charlie is cleaning out Brime Heroes, and he's picked up a triple already. A Juggernaut down, an ultra kill for Charlie. Oh my, it looked like a beautiful vacuum into the wall.
Yeah, if they had damage.
An instant turnaround. That damage didn't come out, but you know, in some video games, bugs don't die, and Stomanen is the only survivor from that fight. NIP, take 4, take Roche, Aegis and Cheese are theirs.
Unfortunately for Brame, it really got to the point where they realized, well, the vacuum wall was beautiful. You know, you compensated beautifully, but where's the follow-up damage? If you have Omni Slash, maybe they can kill them, but realistically, you're not going to be killing Tiny or Sven inside an Omni Slash. And when there's 3-4 heroes in that vac wall, it's for a lot of tanks. So that was the concerning part. And I think now Brame are in that window where they're like, well,
it's like,
we don't really kill anyone anymore.
They got the back wall, but Jug was nowhere near to get that Omni Slash off.
It was on cooldown, unfortunately, as the back wall connected anyway. So it's not as if even if he was there, it's like, well...
So you're not getting anything out from your high attack speed Battle Fury Omni Slash, which would cleave damage everybody there in that beautiful combo there from second, like momentarily, but...
Yeah, it could have been good. You could have been screaming your lungs off. This could have been the clip, the play that Reddit goes, damn Panda, your casting do be popping, but no. Because of Omni Slash being up, you don't get the chance to scream your lungs out.
Exactly, just absolutely denied. And
you had to eat your own words.
and Stomanen was the only guy to live from that one as well. Like, he's the only guy out of his team to survive. He's denying a tower. He's denying a tower. Pog, champ. No. Surge, are you? Bonk. Bonk. That was exactly that. Oh.
Skylark nearly dying.
Early Surge thought he got the tower, deny. Head bonk comes out and 3 stuns merely missing. But Charlie, NIP feel like their time has come. Has their kingdom come though?
He's hit the wall. There we go. He missed it, then hit it.
Skylark's feeling a bit shaky, I guess. Early stun come out from Summon. Sven very low. Tossed back to safety by Supreme.
Look at bot lane though, the IU Jug, they're going to put Nip on a timer. It's like, well, if you don't go back now, we're going to pressure your towers.
Look at that again, they're expecting them to be there already. So yeah, they were thinking that if there's nobody there, we might just keep on going,
but at this
relocate.
Point, if Nip, if Brame were a little bit more like cohesive as a team, that split
look at
play,
Stomanen, he might
Nick
catch
should
some
be ready.
stragglers. They might catch someone.
Exactly, they should be ready for this. But unfortunately, that 5-10 second window where you have that disconnect, they could have maybe abused the relocate and got a free pickoff, but they weren't able to do that, unfortunately. I think they're trying to be hyper defensive because they are very scared to play at this point. Oh no! Oh, I actually hate reading Twitch chat during this game. Me saying I have 3 pillows, him to get picked apart. It's 3 normal pillows, Twitch chat. 3 simple.
That's the best things though.
Say no to anime.
But at least they are...
I actually haven't ever watched anime, so it's hard. I can't have an opinion.
Yeah, I guess we're in the same boat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I might have watched 1 or 2, but I don't really remember anything much about them.
Exactly,
I mean,
it's things like, is it actually an anime? I don't know.
I can say I'm a huge fan of the first season of Pokemon when I watched it when I was a little kid on TV, and I was thrilled. If that counts.
I was thrilled.
If that counts.
I'm sure it does, right? I don't know. I'm sure there's some hardcore
Again,
enthusiasts out there. Oh my god, the stun inside.
EKB and Darkseer's getting ripped to shreds. Skylark is out. Nyx is just spawning, and a buyback is available for the Darkseer. Darkseer and Nyx are the ones who have it. The spear connecting up to Wish. Wish is getting controlled, and he's being followed up instantly by Supreme, and Wish will get right-clicked away by Charlie. Charlie will find the kill. A double kill coming in his way, and a triple follow-up right after that. And now Focus, he's very alone, and Charlie's just destroying them all, and Supreme dropping low. They've lost 1 hero, but they don't look like they're going to be losing more because Charlie just keeps on going. Focus out. Ultra kill. We're going to get a rampage even. As Charlie, there we go. Charlie gets it, and NIP, I think this is a redemption story for them as well. Maybe Stomanen gets a little bit of payback here. At least he gets rid of the Aegis. But only 2 heroes to hold the base together. Skylark is one of them, and Stomanen slapped to death.
That was, yeah, very rough engagement. Nip just absolutely showcased why their draft is absolutely bloody scary at this point of the game.
Stomanen is trying
another
his best,
40-minute game, by the way.
Absolutely rough. Like for NIP, they've really done the redemption here that they needed. 41 minutes into the game, 22,000 gold ahead now. looking for those mid racks. Still no
They
creeps.
must have
They're
had
a
a
bit far
stern
away.
talking to. In between the games, like, I hope their coach came in and was like, lads, please, focus up. You think we're losing to Brame? How many years has it been since Boston? I don't know why it sounds like an army cadet, but either way, it's clearly working.
The army jargon.
No, I don't.
Stand straight in line, soldier.
Yeah, neither do you. All right, moving on. So they're pushing the top.
I know all about that. I mean, I am a sergeant in the military, so.
Wait, are you?
Yeah, I did my military service. I was 1 year.
Hog?
I'm a sergeant by my military rank, so.
Nice. I was fake claiming, hoping you weren't.
Yeah, no, that was like 7 years ago, so it's been a long time.
All right. So it's fake. So like, if you okay.
I mean,
Damn,
now I sound like I'm old. Like, that's just my voice.
Yeah.
It's just my voice. Don't worry. All right. What's the last hurrah here for the Dire?
Is this the point where you need me to make some miracle play up in theory?
I mean,
so that
just
they can
come up with anything. Just come up with a miracle that Brame needs.
Nip needs to like play 4v5 without the Sven. Sven needs to be farming by himself. They need to kill the other 4, then be able to pressure without buybacks. Is like, I feel like the only way they can win. But realistically, Nip will never let that happen because they're in a very commanding position, a driving force to end the game. And I think Brame, it's so hard. It's the Juggernaut v Sven matchup. He doesn't really do any damage, and at this point, it's hard for Nip not to hit their spells, which was their biggest issue in the first 20 minutes of this game. Just not connecting on their spells.
Look at this smoke, though. Focus. DD Rune just about to run out, but he's going to get surrounded. Almost gets the spin off, though. And thinking about going back in, but they don't see any of the NIP heroes because they're still smoked up, at least half of them.
Spartan.
And the jump was Spartan and gets blown up by Charlie. And the next one, it will be the Juggernaut. He doesn't even get a chance to land on the ground, and Spartan calls it. It's GG. Ninjas in Pyjamas coming with a 2-1 victory in this series. They lost the first one. No, wait, I don't even remember how this one went. No. Yes, they lost the first one. They tied up the series, and they come in with the W when it really matters.
Alas, I think, yeah, that was overall pretty good from Nip, and I think it was coated by the fact that they actually had, solid drafts in that second and third game. I think they really had timings to hit and a playstyle to go around, and even if they were outplayed early on, they had that kind of fallback plan, and especially in game 1, there wasn't ever the fallback plan because their draft was pretty much win lanes, go in their face, and then we're going to try and win, and unfortunately they weren't able to do that. So I'm really happy they made the adjustments in game 2 and 3. They went back kind of to what they're best for, which is having the Charlie hero picked quite early on. You got the Sven, you've got the Void, for example, and then just have well-rounded drafts. That's what Nip do really well. They have good team fight, good wave clear, and all round, like, you look at it and go, I can respect, that's nice, But the first game, it didn't feel that Nip. It felt very loose. So I'm happy that they did kind of pick up the pieces in game 2 and 3, but also you got to give a lot of props to Brame. They played some really nice aggressive Dota. I think they had some really good windows to play well, and also they reacted to when they're on the back foot really well. Like, this is a game where they could have easily had a 5k lead suddenly become a 20k lead at 20 minutes, but they just kept themselves in. They kept playing the game, kept keeping the lanes pushed out in the correct way. And yeah, I got to give props. Like, this is an open qualified team. The Greek lads, they've been in the scene for a long time. Recently haven't had much showing, but they took Nip to 3 games. Nip isn't the strongest of teams, unfortunately, right now, but like, still, it's a good stepping stone for Brame to continue their stride, and hopefully we're going to see more from these lads in the future.
I also think it's very important here for NIP as well that they did get kind of a wake-up call. That they lost the first game. It was like, all right, what do we really need to focus on? What are the small things that we could do maybe a slightly bit better to get to bring them back into the series, to get the tie, then win the last map as well? There were a few things that I was a bit worried about. Was like, for example, the free Roshan was like, I didn't even know that Rosh was going on, but still kind of still those small things, maybe a little bit of giving into fear. the first games, I mean, we always talk about like the draft was better. Like, yeah, they didn't have a good draft. Whatever team we talk about usually ends up somehow revolving into the draft because it's like 50% of the game almost when it comes to like the very high level of Dota in a sense. So all the small things that you can work around from these big aspects, look at the smaller things. I think it was a really good thing for NIP that they actually lost game number 1 because it kind of gave them the wake-up call that they needed to bring themselves back to the series.
But also, like, I think if you're NIP, you shouldn't be looking at the series confidently, right? You shouldn't be like, oh, damn, we just won 2-1, we'll go us. It's like, this game, there was very large windows in which they made some large misplays on their own right in terms of the aggression as 4, not bringing Charlie to the engagement. Like, that's a natural play when you have a big win condition. That is, of course, it's right now, but when you're up against this type of lineup, these type of plays open up the game for your opponent, where you could also play defensive, out-farm your opponent, and that next fight is that decisive fight. So I think NIP, there's a lot to review from this game, and it does show the cracks in this team and how they haven't really been able to find true form in like that kind of the tier 1 space. But again, it's one of those games where Brame is kind of like they just came out of nowhere type of thing, the open qualifier team. So it's also hard to do research on them because when they form and play as this kind of stack, then it is difficult to truly have that read on them. But again, NIP, they're going to be happy they won, but they're going to be going back to their reviews, going back to their drawing board and making sure they understand properly why they weren't able to close out these games more decisively against arguably the lower seeded teams in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, at least our day comes to an end here. It's 1 a.m. right now, so this is actually a good time to end Europe for our first day here at the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13. My name was T-Panda. I was joined by TeaGuvnor today. We had a blast casting these 2 series, but we're going to keep this short because we've got more action starting right away in the morning. So we've got about 10 hours until the next one. So good time to go to sleep and head to the next video.
That's what I'm thinking.
So feel free to throw in a follow on like Twitter, T_PandaDota, and at TeaGuvnor, the ones to look for. Thank you so much, people, for watching today. We'll see you some other time. Good night and bye-bye.